Hello and welcome to another edition of Business Champions. I'm Brian Sexton, joined as always by Paul Lajoie, the business entrepreneur and incubator extraordinaire, a real serial entrepreneur. Paul, how are you?
Brian, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
So let's introduce our guest today. It's Marty Gilbert from the NorthShore Executive Networking Group, and you have a unique approach to job seeking, which is what your group is all about. If I'm paraphrasing, it's what the hell?
Well, it is what the hell. And the approach, I actually applied with the U.S. Patent Department for a trademark, was granted that about 10 years ago. The concept behind the what the hell approach to job search is what the hell do you have to lose by doing things that other job seekers simply are not doing? The job search is all about standing out, creating visibility, ultimately leading to credibility, which gets you into interviews. And too many job seekers all do the same thing. They apply to jobs online, they hit submit, and they hope for the best. And mine is really an outbound marketing approach. Other coaches that are in this space primarily come out of either HR or talent recruitment backgrounds, and quite honestly, to a job seeker, those backgrounds are of no help because the job seeker needs to know how to, position, package, message, and target, themselves to prospective, potential employers. And it's not about, getting visibility with talent acquisition. It's getting visibility with the people that have the money, can make decisions, and that are influential. And that typically sits with the hiring manager and their peers. So I've created these 13 what the hell moves that give people a somewhat unorthodox approach to job search, but gets them the visibility that is going to get them into doors that they otherwise can't get into on their own, taking traditional methods.
Man, I love it. And I love thinking outside the box. What I really want to know, interesting, kind of give me 30 seconds on your background and then how NorthShore was born. That's what I want to know.
Sure. My background is primarily in marketing, sales, and general management. I grew up in the advertising space. Early in my career, I ended up moving to Tokyo. I was hired by the largest advertising agency in the world, a firm by the name of Dentsu. When I worked for Dentsu, they had 6,000 employees, but only 5 of us were not Japanese. They hired us to help their largest single clients to export their products to the United States and other parts of the world. So I was bringing to the world products like the Sony Walkman, the VCR, the microwave oven. Of course, Toyota, Nissan, Honda were all clients, as were all the electronics and camera companies and everybody else. And everything that I wrote appeared as full-page ads in Time, Newsweek, Businessweek, Fortune magazines. When I left Japan, I then came back to the States, finished up my MBA, and went to work for Motorola, where I was helping Motorola do just the reverse. I was helping them to export their products to Japan and other parts of the developing world. So that's where my background has really evolved from. I have launched a lot of new products during my career, have done a lot of things in terms of strategic planning. I ultimately left Motorola to go run a sports data company by the name of Stats Incorporated. For those viewers that have ever read the book or seen the movie Moneyball, it starred Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. Well, the company behind the scenes was Stats Incorporated, the company that I was brought in to run. We were providing all the data and analytics to the Oakland A's baseball team, who ultimately was finding very undervalued players that were not costly, but could make a very big difference in the performance of the team. But the Stats' bigger claim to fame, quite honestly, is that they're the official statistician for Major League Baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, and provide all the data for all the fantasy sports games across the country. And then I started up NSENG about 14 years ago when I was in a job search, and I have changed jobs throughout my career fairly easily, particularly because of my background in marketing and writing. I pulled together a few other people who, like myself, had worked in great companies, and for whatever reason, were on the outside looking in now, making a change. And what started with a group of 6 today is over 12,000 members. It's all been organic growth. The mission behind the group is to help people that are in a job search to shorten their search, because the one question nobody can ever answer is how long is it going to take for me to find my next opportunity? And the things that I deliver to job seekers are webinar recordings, workshop recordings, in-person live events. I do a lot of job search coaching to help people to market themselves to companies. I also do a lot of public speaking to very large industry trade associations, as well as university alumni associations from Harvard, Yale, Cornell, University of Chicago, Michigan, and Howard, and several others across the country, to ensure that there's a constant influx of great talent coming into the organization. So networking obviously is a big piece of this. 70% of all the jobs that are acquired involve networking to some extent, and that's where I can help people to really create a lot of value from the folks that they're connected to.
Man, I love it. I love the background. One more quick question. For those people that are just entering the job market, give me one or two things. Hey, get this in order right now before we start anything.
Well, the things that everybody thinks that, the magic is behind having a great resume and a great LinkedIn profile. Well, that's just a small piece of the equation. Some of the greatest opportunities are not sitting on LinkedIn, they're not sitting on Indeed or Career Builder or any of these other job search sites. So many companies today are relying on their own employees to make recommendations. And so one of the moves that I encourage people to do is you should be putting together a target company list by industry of firms that you're interested in. And then you need to get an outbound marketing campaign to make yourself visible to these firms, whether they have jobs today or don't. And this is where a lot of job seekers make mistakes, because a lot of folks will spend 90% or more of their time responding to online ads. And if you like 200 to 1 odds, then keep doing that. But the fact is that you can create jobs that don't exist. You can create opportunities for yourself before they get out to the 200 other people who also think they're the best candidate. And the fact is that you've got to be very proactive in your search, create that visibility just like we do for products. And so the fact is we do all the marketing to help launch new products, and now the job seeker is that new product, and you've got to do all the things that we would normally do for any product we bring into the marketplace for the first time.
That is certainly an innovative way to think about the job search. Marty, what's the best way for people to connect with you? Where do they find you if they need to be a part of your group or to buy into the idea of what the hell?
Sure. Well, our website is NSENGinc.com. My email address is mgilbert@NSENGinc.com. I've got a very active group. The membership, by the way, is free. You get 2 webinar recordings along with your free membership. We've got a very active LinkedIn group, and you should join that as well. I've got a lot of recordings on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's Marty Gilbert 1, and the fact is that there's just so many great opportunities for people to leverage, the many tools and coaching services that I make available to them. And as I mentioned from the beginning, how do you find a great job in the shortest time possible? And that's really what the entire business is founded around.
All right, we'll put all of your information in our show notes. And we thank you for joining us. We really appreciate the insight into today's business world for the job seeker.
Great. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Business Champions, a part of the Daily News Network. We'll see you next time.
BizBuyPro supports individuals through the acquisition process in many ways. First and foremost, we can find a business for you. You come to us and you give us the parameters geographically, size, like maybe 2 million in revenue, and maybe an area you want to be a plumbing contractor, and we'll go find that for you. I think really the most important thing from BizBuyPro is after you find that business, working through the valuation, how much you're paying for it. As I always say, you don't make money when you sell, you make money when you buy.